Program does not necessarily reflect the opinions and viewpoints of the staff and management of this station.
Welcome to the wonderful world of seniors, the best of all worlds. You now have the time, resources, and ability to enjoy what you have worked for all your life. So let's explore the many possibilities available to seniors on Senior World Radio. Senior World Radio is your source for senior citizens-related topics, information, and entertainment. Now, here is your host of Senior World Radio, Glenn Howard.
Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Glenn Howard, and it's so great to be with you again. I'm down here today at Skyline Urban Ministries, located 500 Southeast 15th Street. Several years ago, I had the privilege of coming down to Skyline. My wife had sent a bunch of clothing down, and I was impressed with their ministry, but when I realized they have done a complete remodel of their facilities and have provided a lot more services, got a chance to talk to a couple of ladies who told me what was going on, and wow, it is a fantastic program that's available to seniors, to, well, not only seniors, I guess people, anyone who has a financial need. So I wanted to get a chance to get them on air and talk a little bit about their program. Today I'm visiting with Kim Paris. Kim is the finance director, and also Brandy Conrad. Brandy is the Food Resource Center Director. Ladies, thanks so much for being on the air with me today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kim, let's start with you, though, basically. To tell me a little bit about Skyline Ministry. What is it? How did it get started? And what's going on here?
Well, Skyline was actually founded by Reverend Mackenzie Thompson in 1978. He has recently passed, but he is the legend behind the dream of where we're at today. We started out as a small food pantry downtown when he initially had his vision to assist the marginalized in Oklahoma City with their needs. And since inception, we've expanded into 7 different programs.
Okay, now you have both, I noticed the clothing thing, the food thing. You had was it an optical?
We have an eye clinic.
Okay.
Absolutely. And how that works is we give free eye exams to those who are in need of eyeglasses. And there is a marginal fee. It's $35 for a single prescription and $55 for bifocals.
Okay. And Brandy, you as the director of the Food Resource Center, I was in the facility, that little kind of a miniature grocery store in there is fantastic, and particularly I noticed the cooler boxes and everything else. I felt like I was in a mini market. An awful lot of services to offer to the poor. What do people have to do in order to qualify to receive benefits from Skyline Food Pantry?
They have to be hungry.
Okay.
And that's what we do. We feed the hungry. You can come down to Skyline Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays.
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Okay.
We do have different hours each day. They need to come and have a photo ID of themselves, some type of identification for everybody that lives with them. Doesn't matter what it is, just needs to have the first and last name on it. And we do need a bill showing that they have proof of residency. Other than that, hungry is the project here.
Now, I noticed, Kim, when you gave me a brief tour around the facility, you also have some counseling rooms. This is not just an open, come in and grab everything you want.
That's
but
right.
You guys have a systematic approach to really determining who you serve and how you serve.
That's right. That's our intake rooms, and those are new to our new facility. We're really excited about that, but we like to take the time to get to know our clients' needs beyond just feeding the hungry. We've had numerous incidences where we could refer people to additional services that could benefit their families in their time of need. Brandy can probably tell you a couple of stories about some senior citizens that didn't know how to apply for their Social Security, or some folks that needed to be directed how to apply for disability. And so we really try to spend a lot of time up front getting to know our clients. They are not just a name or a number. They are human beings that we are called as disciples of Christ to care for.
Amen.
Okay. Where do you get most of your food? Brandy?
We acquire a lot of our food from the regional food bank, and then also our United Methodist churches. We're under the umbrella of the United Methodist Conference. We have approximately 52 local United Methodist churches that have what we call a Skyline Month. Skyline Month means that they have adopted basically one of our programs, and whether it be clothes, food, prom dresses, then they donate them to us. We have some really good United Methodist churches that make sure that we keep our doors open.
Describe for me a typical person who would be coming down here. You know, I think sometimes we tend to see the poor many times as the old boy standing out on the street begging, and you almost want to say, hey, get a job type thing.
That's so funny that you say that, because that is the picture that we have painted, and it's not true. Last year we served over 22,861 individuals with...
Whoa, say that again now. How many?
22,861 individuals just in our food pantry alone. Out of that, 80% of them had at least one person in the household working a full-time job.
So these are people who are working and trying to survive.
Just trying to make it. They're working from paycheck to paycheck. 40% of those people were senior citizens living off of Social Security. The average Social Security check in the state of Oklahoma is $750.
I didn't realize it was that low. $750 is the average Social Security income for an individual.
Yes.
That's kind of hard to live on.
Can you imagine paying rent? Because nowadays you even have a co-payment with your medical and everything. And they get approximately $60 worth of SNAP, or some people know it as food stamps. That's what they get to live on each month. So that's the people we serve.
That's amazing. I'm just sitting here kind of dumbfounded with the idea of the Social Security income being that low, and that many people. I guess that does make sense. Are you finding, though, that it's one of these kind of things where you continue to give and there's no help, or are you able to do any counseling with them to help them find better jobs, find work with them? Tell me a little bit more how you make that work out.
Well, we tried. Where we were located, it was very hard to really get in deep with our clients. Now we have these wonderful new intake rooms that are awesome. We want to be able to spend at least 10 or 15 minutes. I've made sure that there's a phone there. So, because one of the things that I have come across working at Skyline is if we make the appointment for people, not just say, okay, here's this place to go to, they'll help you. If we actually make the appointment and set it up, probably 50% of them go to that appointment. And that means whether it be Social Security. For example, I had a gentleman one day at the old facility come in, and I got to talking to him, and I realized, you're probably eligible for disability. And he was like, I am? I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I don't know how to do that. And I said, well, come with me to my office. Let's sit down, make a few phone calls. 3 to 4 months later, I can't remember the exact date, walked in my back door, not the front door where the line was to come get food, but the back door. He came in, and I went to shake his hand, and I thought he was just going to shake my hand and tell me thank you. And he handed me $40, and he said, I want this to go back into the food pantry because without y'all fed me and my wife when we were hungry. And not only that, you helped me get my disability check, and now I don't have to utilize your food pantry anymore.
That's got to be a satisfying experience.
It was the most. I almost cried. I cried. I almost cry every time I tell the story. I mean, it's things like that. That's the one thing that, as myself, even before working at Skyline, that you have to realize is that people are hungry out there in the world. They need things. We've got several programs that most of them are all focused on our working poor, our senior citizens, and our kids. 1 in 4 child goes to bed hungry every night. I don't want my kids going to bed hungry, and I sure don't want anybody else's.
It sounds to me like, though, that intake counseling room, or whatever you call it, plays a very significant role in this whole process, doesn't it?
Yes, it will. Yes.
Who are the counselors that do this, and how do you train them?
Volunteers.
They're all volunteers?
They're all volunteers.
How do you train them?
I get in there, I sit with them, I get them on the computer, I show them this list. The Regional Food Bank has got a wonderful OASIS program that they have put together that really digs deep into the interview process, and I make sure and talk to my volunteers before I put them in that position to make sure that they're a volunteer that is really wanting to care and wanting to dig deep and doesn't have a problem talking to people. And I have several volunteers that used to work for either DHS in child care. I have another one that was a teacher. So I always make sure that, there's someone that's in there that's wanting to find out why. Our goal is to shorten the line. Our goal is not just to see the same face over and over and over. I guess if that's the case, then that's what happens. But each day, when we see the one face, 3 months later, we want to have helped them enough to get them not to be in that line again. We want to see a new face. We know that line will be there forever. That's just the way it is nowadays. But we want to do whatever we can to be able to help them succeed in their life.
It's got to be a very gratifying experience to actually see people's lives changed by what you're doing. Are you having difficulty getting volunteers, or do you have quite a few of them?
I have a lot of regular volunteers that has actually followed us, but we have lost some because of the distance that they're having to drive is a difference, or because of their age, or because they've lost a loved one that was doing it with us as well. So that was something they did as a husband and wife team. I always need volunteers. Our hours are extended way beyond what we were doing. We were only open for like 3 hours before. Now we're open from 5 days a week and sometimes till 6:30 at night.
So if somebody thought, gee, I'd like to get involved and be a counselor and help out, how would they get in touch with you?
Call Brandy Conrad at Skyline Urban Ministry, 236-5212, or go to the website at www.skylineurbanministry.org.
Okay, that's SkylineUrbanMinistries.org.
Ministry. There's
Ministry.
Just the Y,
it's a
no
Y,
I-E,
okay.
yes.
SkylineUrbanMinistry.org, and that phone number again is
236-5212.
5212.
Or 632-2644.
Okay, I'm Glenn Howard, Senior World Radio, visiting today with Kim Paris and Brandy Conrad at the Skyline Urban Ministry, located down at 500 Southeast 15th. I think you'd enjoy sometime just simply dropping by and seeing this place and seeing the ministry they've got going. But hey, we got to take a break. We're going to be coming right back, so please don't go away.
You're nobody till somebody loves you.
Have you ever had a problem, but it seemed like there was no one who could help? You spent hours calling around, being referred from one place to the next. Well, not anymore. I want to tell you about a free and easy-to-use service in Oklahoma. 211 is a simple 3-digit phone number to get help or to give help when you don't know where to turn. Dialing 211 only takes a minute, and you are connected with a caring Oklahoman who will help you find the assistance you've been looking for. With access to over 13,000 programs, Heartline 211 can connect you to local resources for many different needs, including health care, food, counseling, rent assistance, disability assistance, job services, and much more. 211 is a service of Heartline, a United Way partner agency. 211, the right first call to get help or give help 24 hours a day.
Hi, my name's Jason Ledlow, president of UT Phone, the ultimate telephone service. We're proud to be a sponsor of Senior World Radio with Glenn Howard. UT Phone is dedicated to providing Oklahomans affordable telephone service all across our great state. We have Lifeline home phone service starting at just $1.95. That's right, just $1.95, and most of Oklahoma's seniors qualify for this reduced home phone service. They get to keep their old home phone number, and it even includes long distance. Another great feature of UT Phone's customers really like is that it includes repair service. That's right, any repairs at no additional charge. With many telephone services charging $40 to $50 per month, it makes sense to switch your service to UT Phone. This service is a federal program that is provided through the Universal Service Fund. There is only one per household, so make it UT Phone's home phone service for $1.95. Give us a call at 800-996-0098. Again, call 996-0098.
I've made up my mind.
Welcome back to Senior World Radio. I'm Glenn Howard. Today I'm at the Skyline Urban Ministry facility located down 500 Southeast 15th Street. Pretty easy to get to. Go down I-35 and go west for about a half a mile, and on the south side of the street you'll find a new building. In fact, a building that has just been remodeled and a pretty nice facility. I'm visiting today with Kim Paris. Kim is the finance director, and with Brandy Conrad. Brandy is the Food Resource Center director. Kim, let's talk about the financing of this place. This place is very nice. There's obviously been some real money put into not only the building, but particularly back in that food pantry. When I saw the refrigerated boxes, those are as new and modern as anything I've seen. How do you get your funding?
Well, the beautiful thing about our new facility, it has all been completed with individual corporate donations and donations from churches. So we are going to finish this project, which is almost $1 million, debt-free. And the Regional Food Bank has been a huge part of this entire process. They have partnered with us during this entire journey, and we will continue the partnership we do have with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma. But they have not only contributed their expertise at opening food resource centers, but they have contributed significantly financially to make this dream come true of opening up a food resource center in a food desert.
Now, aren't you also a part of the United Fund?
United Methodist Conference, and we're also actually a partner agency with United Way of Central Oklahoma.
Okay.
And they also do a significant portion of our funding for the Food Resource Center as well, and we are so grateful for our partnerships with both of these agencies. Otherwise, it would not be possible to serve as many people as that we serve annually.
What about the need for just donation from individuals, food, clothing, so forth? Are you soliciting that?
All of the above, actually. Not only do we need monetary donations to run our 7 programs and our day-to-day operations, but we also need what we refer to as in-kind donations, which is clothing, food, eyeglass cases. The list is long. But when we get those in-kind donations of food or clothing, it saves significantly in the day-to-day operational funding of the programs and the clients that we serve.
We've been talking more about the food pantry today, but I was quite impressed with the facilities you have down there for eye exam. That optical room was as modern as any optical shop I've ever been in. Tell me a little bit about that, how you got into it and how it operates.
Well, that was, again, a great partnership with the Oklahoma City Community Foundation. We received a grant for $30,000, which allowed us to purchase all of that brand new equipment that you saw when we gave you a tour. So we are completely up to date technologically. That program is run with volunteer eye doctors, and we serve thousands of people a year.
Volunteer eye doctors, local. How many do you have serving in that? Several?
27. 27.
27 different opticians, is that what they call them? Optical?
I think that's the word they call them. They're spread out through all of Oklahoma City. We have some that actually come down here to Skyline and volunteer their time here and do the eye exams here. But we also have 21 out of the 27, there's 21 that's out through Oklahoma City. For those that don't have transportation, or if they live in that area, we will send them to their actual office, and they do it all for free.
Brandy, how did you get involved in this?
It's a crazy little story. I used to work at IHOP, and I been following God for over 5 years, and knew Claudia through my church that I was attending. I was doing prison ministry, and I said, I want to work for Skyline. I told her for 4 months, I want to work for Skyline. And I kept saying it, and finally she says, I have a position open. I started out as what we called the Girl Friday, and basically that was a little gopher. doing whatever needed to be done. And within 6 months to a year, the actual food pantry director had retired and moved on to another position, and that position came open. I applied for it, and here I am.
Oh, wow. Kim, I'm though still amazed at how much you have down here, and some idea of the kind of cost that it's got to take to operate a place like this. Are most of your people volunteers?
Yes, we actually only physically have 13 staff members.
Okay. And then the volunteers without
thousands and thousands and thousands of volunteers, literally.
Now, what all do you do? I notice there's a lot of seniors around here. We've talked about the clothing. We've talked about the food pantry, which that's primarily food to take home to try to keep yourself going. You talked about the eye care program. You do a lot of actual feeding right here, do you
We
not?
actually do. We have a program called Prime Timers, which is our senior feeding program. And on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to noon, we offer breakfast. We offer activities, outside guest speakers, bingo, shopping in our clothing closet, and we also offer lunch. And that's a beautiful program as well, where a lot of our thousands of volunteers are committed, because all of the meals are provided by outside volunteer groups who come in physically on site, spend time with our seniors, know them all by name, and it's really just a wonderful source of fellowship for our seniors living, in the metro area.
Now, are we talking about churches that are volunteering, or are we talking about individuals?
It's churches, yeah. It's mostly Sunday school classes that provide the meals.
So Sunday school class in a local church?
Yeah, any small group. It's better as a small group because we're feeding sometimes 60-plus people, so that's a lot for just an individual to handle, but it's perfect for small groups.
Again, if somebody was interested in trying to become a part of this, how would they get in touch with you, and what would they do?
They need to just call Skyline Urban Ministry at 632-2644.
Okay, 632, what?
2644.
2644. Get you a pencil and paper handy. Write this number down, because this is something that your Sunday school class or church of any size, or I guess even civic clubs, do you have any of that type thing, or various community groups might want to come down and maybe the first time come down and watch what you're doing, and then come back and get involved in it.
Absolutely.
Just give Kim Paris. Kim's phone number again is 632-2644. Again, that's 632-2644. Or their website, of course, is Skyline Urban Ministry. That's ministry singular.org. You mentioned a while ago you had 7 ministries down here. I think we talked about 4 of them. We talked about the clothing, the food pantry, the eye care, the feeding program. What else you got?
We have a program called Clothes for Kids, and we do that every summer, and that's providing school uniforms for children before they start their first day of school. We provide
school uniforms for children.
School uniforms. Oklahoma City has now gone citywide to a school uniform policy, and it's really kind of hard for the parents, especially the working poor, to not only buy everyday clothes, but then have that additional cost of having uniforms, because they can't wear their uniforms, when they get home or when they're going to church on Sunday. So it's an additional expense. And
if somebody wanted to buy a uniform for a child, what would it cost?
If we supply 2 new uniforms, new tennis shoes, new socks, and new underwear, so it averages out to about $80 per child.
So, folks, for $80, you could provide a student with 2 uniforms, tennis shoes,
socks, underwear.
Socks and underwear for a school year.
Yes. And I have to tell you a story. We had a little girl, she was getting ready to start kindergarten, and strangely enough, she didn't get so excited about the uniforms, but when she got her new underwear, she just clung to them. And she looked up and she said, "I've never had brand new underwear before." And for her to get so excited about something that most of us just take for granted, just touched my heart.
That is very touching. Let's go on with the others. We've got now. We've listed. I think we've listed 5 of them. We've still got 2 to go.
We have in the spring a prom dress event, which we provide gently used prom dresses that have only been obviously worn one time to juniors and seniors, so that they are able to attend their prom. This is another additional expense that a lot of single parents or struggling parents can't afford. I mean, even back when Jesus was walking and I went to the prom, prom dresses were rather expensive. Right. And so it's so exciting to see these young ladies come in, and if they're at a prom dress store in the mall, they get so excited their eyes light up to pick out a beautiful dress, because we feel like the prom for every young woman is kind of a rite of passage, and we just hate for any young lady that wants to go to the prom to have to miss their prom because of the financial situation of their parents.
Okay, and the other ministry?
We've got Christmas Grace.
Christmas Grace,
and that is we adopt families out who are in need of getting assistance with Christmas presents for their children, and that is run strictly on a voluntary basis as well. We have church groups, individuals, companies adopt these families. We do the intake process, get to know the families, what their needs are, what their kids might like for Christmas, and then we match them with an adopter who then fulfills that wish list for the kids.
Ladies, I've got to tell you, I think this is one of the finest facilities that I have seen to provide services not only to seniors, but for children going to school, for young girls in high school, for anybody who has a need. And believe it or not, all of us can find ourselves in a situation sometime when we need a little bit of help along the way. I thank you so much for taking time to share with me. And I hope everybody will get a chance to at least go by and see the new facility at Skyline Urban Ministry, located 500 Southeast 15th Street. Take I-35 up to Southeast 15th, go west about a mile, you'll see the facility there, and get a chance to meet Kim and Brandy, and let them show you what's going on and give you a chance to volunteer to get involved with it. Hey, we've run out of time. We got to go. Appreciate so much you being with me. We're going to try to get back again very soon to interview some of the people who are staying here, getting benefits. I think you'll enjoy hearing from them. But time's up right now. We got to go. I'm Glenn Howard, Senior World Radio. Kim Paris, Finance Director. Brandy Conrad, Food Resource Center Director at Skyline Urban Ministries. We'll see you again this same time next week. And until then, be kind to everybody you know. Do something good for somebody, especially yourself. We'll see you the same time next week. Bye-bye now.
And the only explanation I can find